Yo, what's up, world? Welcome to Dig In with Hannah's Field. We're here doing like a monthly show with you guys, interviewing guests that are on our new album, Crystal Vision, which will be coming out this fall. We've been doing a lot of promotion for that, and this is part of that promotion. So, most cooking shows are like everyone's making food, and oh my god, it's a dash, and look at this delicious, and I'm cooking, and I'm doing this. Well, this food show is about eating the food. The best part of it. You get to watch it on TV, and everyone's like, oh, look at this great, and then they go. Well, now we're going to sit down, and we're going to eat a meal, we're going to have a conversation with our good friend Allie Bosso, an amazing trombone player who played on our album. So, Sister Hannah, where are you at?
Hi, everybody. Welcome to Dig In. We're so excited to have our friend and trombonist, Allie Bosso, who's going to join you and us in a meal. And today we decided to do the Heartburn special. Yeah. So the story is she's going to make something that's going to give y'all heartburn.
And we're going to make something to ease the heartburn or to help heal the heartburn, to counterbalance.
Yeah, so I kind of think we should see what she's making first. Let's check in with her kitchen.
I've heard some rumors about something delicious. Not only is Allie like an amazing, musician, instrumentalist, composer, she's also a great chef too. So she'll come over here sometimes with different sweets and treats. And is always talking about delicious food she's eating, making and stuff. So, Allie, you ready to come on or what?
Yo, hello.
Oh, what's up? How you doing?
Hi. Hi, we are live. Okay, so I'm going to be grilling. It's going to be a mozzarella, summer squash, prosciutto. I also made some kind of like tomato jam with, garlic, basil, stuff I found in the cupboard. And then I also made heartburn corn muffins. They are by far the best I've made so far.
Oh my God.
Bon Appetit on YouTube. I checked it out, and I just like seeing like kernels whenever I'm having like a corn muffin.
So you're gonna fry that thing up? How are you gonna? What are you gonna do with that?
Oh God! All right, I already ate some, so I think I can only handle just eating it raw. And then I'm gonna grill this while we talk, just because it's so fast. Nice. And who grills like grilled cheese? So yeah. All right, well, I'm gonna throw it on the grill now. Whew, I'm a little nervous though. I really don't want to burn myself in front of like thousands of people, but okay.
Nice. Well, I'm gonna talk about what we made.
Yeah, please.
So we've got some amazing brown rice here with parsley, with some mint, with avocado, coconut oil, coconut aminos. A lot of live ingredients we use today. Like the aminos are a fermented ingredient. Cider vinegar, that's a fermented ingredient. That's all good for digestion, all good for pumping up the vibes. The avocado kind of eases some of the pain you might have in that heart for the heartburn. I also made my world famous slaw, which is any kind of green, but I use kale, shredded beets, shredded carrots, shredded ginger, a little bit of digestive fire, a little bit of raw onion, a little bit of garlic, that digestive fire, olive oil, Bragg's liquid aminos. Yeah, man.
I love your slaw so much.
Check
it is
that
so
out.
Invigorating.
Man,
a lot of color.
It's like good health gut food.
Yeah, it makes you feel good when you eat it for sure. Lemon juice or lime juice, fresh lime.
Live.
So I'm gonna plate this up, and we can sit down and have our conversation with Allie.
All right, sounds great.
Is my mic still on? Can you hear me? Everything I say as I comment on how yummy that is. I wish I was there.
Oh man, I wish I was there eating your corn muffins and your grilled cheese.
All right, well I'm gonna check this out.
I'd be like all over that thing.
I mean, I'd make you one without. It's easy. That's kind of why I like the summer squash idea. It just kind of gives a filling there, and it gives you something meaty and fresh, and it's not too wet. So
that's just like a good combination. It's only a good vibe in that tomato jam or whatever. Talking about language.
All right, I can give a shout out to my sister who got this for my dad for Father's Day. I'm borrowing it for almost It's sort of like grilling pizza, but it's a good size.
All right. So
Yeah.
as Mr. Bongo Bliss is finishing up our meal in the kitchen, actually, I can add him there and we'll just mute him. I will tell you a little bit about Miss Allie Bosso, who is an amazing trombonist and is on our new album as a guest. And she is a composer, an educator, a freelance trombonist with 26 years of studies. And she went to Oberlin Conservatory. She shared the stage with many great jazz artists. Actually, I see another trombone player on here right now. Hi, Carrie. So she's shared the stage with many great jazz artists: Clyde Hampton, Gary Bartz, Clark Terry, Bill Hart, Marcus Belgrave, and Donald Byrd. Man. She frequently tours with the 10,000 Maniacs. Huh?
Yes.
What?
Yeah.
Oh,
This is a fun time of year, summer.
we'll talk
It's a
about
good time to tour with them.
and the other groups performed at prestigious venues. Now I've known Allie forever, and all of these venues I did not know, and I'm so excited to actually ask her more. She's played at the White House, Lincoln Center,
What's up with
and
that?
Kennedy Center, and
What's up with that?
also as a cool added bonus, she can build and restore artisanal professional trombones. Welcome to Dig In, Miss Allie Bosso.
Thank you. Hello. Good afternoon. Good evening. Whatever it is to you.
We got some beautiful people hanging out. Much love to Sandra. Much love to Carrie. Much love to Cubes. Thank you all for tuning in and being part of our meal today. So I just got to show you because Mr. Bongo Bliss is really nice.
Gotta see that.
So the beats are so pretty and add so much just vibrancy to the dish. Thank you, friend. So it's sort of a treat that Allie, you ate already, and now you're gonna.
No. I got so excited to cook that I just wanted to make food for my family first because I really like cooking for other people. That's what makes it really exciting for me. Just because there's so many limitations that we have right now as far as what we can do for each other, and food is always, within any family, number one. If you know where it's at, what's up, the heart of the kitchen, the house. Yeah. So I mean, I don't know. I was living in Berlin, Germany, and I'm living in my hometown at my dad's house right now. I came back to, make sure everything kind of kept steady, or I could enter the country one last time, if ever again. And it's just it's really nice to try to make the most of the time, even if it is transitional for a lot of us. There's pressure from all corners, all directions, whatever you want to say.
Family time is important time, and I always say, like, nourishing from the kitchen, nourishing right into your belly, right into all that love. Oh, bones!
What happened? I missed it.
It came off of the plate.
Oh no, 30-second rule.
It's a good thing. It's a good thing you already ate, bones.
The 30-second rule. Hurry up, pick it up. 30 seconds.
No.
You can still show us how delicious.
Now you're gonna have to just come over here and eat our food.
Hey, man, look.
Muffins.
That's the beauty of doing stuff live.
It looks like shit anyway.
Stuff happens. Stuff happens. That's the thing.
Don't swear. Oh my god.
Okay, stuff happens.
The heartburn of it all.
Hey man, listen. That grilled cheese sounded so damn amazing, though.
I gotta pick it up. There's bears out here, you guys. We live in Connecticut. We live around the corner from one another.
We're gonna take you out for a second while you do your cleaning.
She can clean in peace.
Oh my god, y'all. This is what it's. Oh, I gotta take this guy off too. Yeah. Yes, here we all are. This is what's happening when you're doing it. DIY style is what it's all about.
It's real life. It's real life. It's real life happening. Sometimes you're in the kitchen and stuff happens, something falls, something breaks, you burn your sauce by accident.
I break things all the time in the kitchen.
You do?
And Bongo Bliss fixes them. So it's like our relationship. I break it. He fixes it.
Yeah, I come home a lot of times and there's like, oh, this is broken or whatever. Can you fix this? Hey, can you fix this?
Carrie James says, "Oh man, Allie, I had that very same kind of day." She says,
"Is that like sand or is it pepper?" Anyway,
it's all right. Bring that grilled cheese on. It still looks pretty. Let's see it.
Just eat it. Okay, I'll take a bite.
It looks beautiful. It's a good thing to look at it.
No, grill my.
Yeah, it's gorgeous. It's totally good.
Guillotine comes down.
Agita, that's what you call heartburn in Italian. That's what I have right now. For sure.
Oh my god, I love it.
This is going good. Okay. Anyway. I ruined the plate too. Anyway.
This is
good.
This is really our relationship, really. We've all been friends for a very long time. Al, can you tell us the story of how we all met? Like, when's the first time you came into the HannaH's Field universe, and what was that?
Oh, the Spear of Hannah, you mean? Wow.
Because you have a better memory than I do.
No, I was in Collinsville, and I was checking out music at the Crown and Hammer, and I was by myself, just kind of going where the wind took me that night. And you were on stage, and I swear to God, you had like bells, whistles, chains, like all kinds of stuff going on. Andy did too. He was sitting down at the set, but he had like 3 other instruments. So it was strange to me. Can you see me okay still? You just flickered. Anyways, I've never seen anybody multitask or do anything in such a like entertaining and like lovely way. And I just like, there's so much control and execution and technique and good content. I got nervous. And so I just thought you guys were like the coolest things ever. I came upon you like here and there in public, like at other gigs, and I'd be like, oh, it's Hannah. She's so cool. Oh, she's over there. Like, what do I say to her?
I remember Hannah came home. She came home.
Like, hey, man. What's up?
Like, yo, I met this girl. She's my new best friend.
I didn't think I was cool enough. I was like, oh my God. But like you were a teacher and you had like this, like, I don't know, just a good brand. And that was a good example because I was like 24. I'm 36 now. So that's a long time.
You were 24?
So yeah.
Wow.
That was a long time ago. We were like going on walks and talks and like talking about life for a long time. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's a cool. That's a very cool perspective. That's a good question. I'm gonna turn this off.
Yeah. All right, Bones. You've done a lot of playing with like different people. You've done a ton of like traveling, like living in different areas of the world and stuff like that.
Yeah, I guess.
What's like a major highlight for you? Like what's like best place you've lived and best gig you've played?
Ooh, that's a hot one. I don't know. I feel like life is always coming down to food. Like we're here to talk and eat together, and I just want to follow every corner to the yummiest place. I want to go to the yummiest place in Italy, and which I hear is Bologna. So people can weigh in if you're talking right now. Like, please let me know
where your yummiest place is out there in the world.
But I loved San Francisco. If it was like the most affordable place to be, for sure. Like carne asada, burritos, Mexican food, In-N-Out burger. But, these are obvious things. And best places that I've played, oh my God. I think that has more to do with the people than where you are. Because I lived in New York City and that was cool. And it's like high energy and you're hustling all the time. You have like 3 jobs or more, and you never sleep.
What did you have to do when you were living in New York City? What did you have to do besides playing music?
Trying to sell everything you own. Nobody wants to buy it. Nobody wants your stuff. No, but I worked at Village Vanguard and Cornelia Street Cafe and the Cutting Room all at once. And I wanted to be exposed to as much music as I could. And I had like so much more. It was like one of the most fun times of my life. I graduated from college at Oberlin Conservatory in Ohio, and then, you go home, save up money because God, you'll never have enough in New York. But I went there with like nothing, like $1,200, and just like a
Damn.
really, really, just like strong will to like do and go and see, right? So I had all these jobs at once, and you'd be going home from work as people are going to work in the morning, and you're like falling asleep on the subway, and you're sort of wondering yourself, like, am I always making the right choices here? And sometimes you are, sometimes you really aren't, but it's a good time, even if you're making like, I don't know, like silly mistakes, just like finding your way as an artist.
So was that like, so you're going to school, studying jazz at Oberlin, and was that like in the back of your mind, like, I'm gonna graduate soon, I'm gonna, like, where am I gonna go? Of course I'm gonna go to New York City and like play jazz. Was that like a dream of yours, or was it just like what you would do? How did you decide to do that? It's a big move that a lot of people dream about and don't do,
I wonder about that, why people don't just like try to do that. It's pretty easy for me to be excited about something like that. It was like this big dream. I always wanted to be a trombone player. Like I was like 10 years old. You find out you're sort of good at something, and then you find expression, and it's fun. You're making other people happy. You're making yourself happy, and as you're coming of age, you're using it as a vehicle to like go places in life. I wanted to use music to see the world, so that's what I invested in. That's what I did my time doing. So naturally, the most energetic hub where all these interesting things are coming from is New York City. It's like where you want it, the most concentrated amount of talent and intensity and just, diversity. You can find any genre that you really want to invest in, and it's all there for you, and it's all the best players in the world. Unfortunately, it's like such a high concentration of talent and people that you really have to find either your niche or make friendships, and that's why I was working in all those clubs. So everything is kind of like uh
Like networking all the
I
time.
was hoping. Yeah. But my favorite thing, I just have to say this one thing. My favorite thing about New York City was working in the cutting room, and Joan Rivers would do her stand up every Monday, and I'd watch her, and she just got funnier and funnier, and I just wanted to like study the way somebody said bitch like for like weeks. And it's just like, oh, I learned so much just from watching somebody like that. So I just had to say, like, that is my biggest hero.
Nice. Joan Rivers is your biggest hero. I love
I
that.
have no secrets.
That makes sense. That makes sense.
When we were in Oregon, it was kind of a similar situation with like high concentration of like super talented people, and it was like just kind of like what you were saying is like
Right.
it forces like you to come with your A game, even if you're at an open mic, or you have to like find like your special. Like that's kind of how we started doing the duo thing with all the instruments and the looping and all that other junk. It was like we were like, there's a million acoustic duos, there's a million people playing all this music.
You're living in Portland, Oregon, and it's like people are really creative there.
So we're like, well, what the heck can we do? So we're like, juggling, lighting ourselves on fire, like whatever, So that's how we developed a lot of that stuff. Playing the drums and bass at the same time, doing all the percussion stuff, doing sampling and everything. Because it's you're in a situation with a whole like community of like amazing, super talented people. It really pushes you to like just come with it, which I think as an artist, you go to a place that's super concentrated with other artists, it like supercharges you and pushes you up, and then you can kind of carry that forward, you know what I mean, into wherever you go next and what you do next.
Yeah, absolutely.
I have to say, actually, working with you on this album and on the last album, you did some horn stuff. Just the way you pick stuff up, like it was like I always have a blast. Like you and Ben were in that room, and I'm like, do the ribs and remember, and you're like, oh, and like exactly what I'm singing to you guys.
It was fun.
You're like picking up and playing, and then like we like conduct and everything, and I'm like, it's just like you have this intuition and this amazing like way to like. I can tell you something and you just play it exactly what I was trying to think in my head, but I didn't know how to tell you musically but you're right there and you're in the right key and you're just like, okay, oh yeah, that here you go. And it's super cool to see you like come with that. Everyone's got their their unique most true self. And I think, when I see you doing music, that's like your truest self.
Yeah.
Oh, that's really
Yeah, I
sweet.
think you're you no matter what you do. But when I see you playing the music, it's just like, whoa.
Oh, that's what you're supposed to be doing, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
like the other night when we were jamming and we were talking about not, we're here and not gigging all as much as all of us would be used to gigging, right? Because of the circumstances of the world and not being able to be inside clubs right now. But we had Allie over and we were just jamming and she's like, don't you just feel like, do we feel normal? Like it was like all of a sudden we was like, oh, this is who we are, right? We make more music, It's
take a breath,
So going into the studio, I'm curious, right? Because you come from a jazz education as a jazz artist. I've been lucky enough to go to some of your other gigs, right? Like speaking of traveling, like jumping on a plane to Nantucket to the island and going to see you jam out with I don't remember what that band was called. But they were great. You guys were like
good musicians.
Cool. Yeah, cool funk band. Like how many pieces were in that band? Like a 12-piece band or something?
Yeah, there's like a couple rotating bands in Nantucket that are large.
Yeah. So I got to sit in on a rehearsal of theirs in Boston, and the guy who was the director and the band leader, super on his game, I know, is he a Berkeley cat or something?
Travis Richard or Travis Richard. Raw Daddy is his name, I think.
Mm-hmm.
He was running that rehearsal, and you guys worked with charts, yeah.
Yeah, actually, there was some charts for sure. There were long charts. I remember like the papers were like. So I mean, it's just
so you go and like you work with bands like that, and you go and you work with big bands, and like then what is it like coming into the studio with HannaH's Field? Where we're kind of like we're all about feel, and we're all about we're staging the studio. We're all about the energy.
Thank God for
but
that.
We don't necessarily. Luckily, Ben Golder came in with charts.
Ben came with the charts
because we didn't. We sent music. We're like, this is it. What's the difference, and like, how do you think differently, like in one situation as opposed to coming in the studio with somebody like us?
Well, the most important thing is people executing their craft in its truest form, right? And you guys are creating that environment where you're fostering your investments, right? You've hired me to flush out the sound, and I'm supposed to, warm things up, and I have a function in the band as a horn player, right? I'm an add-on, and you're a core. And so if you're bringing me in the scenario, usually I am a hired gun. Horn players are in the background, and if it's a jazz scenario, I'm leading a septet or a quintet, whatever, a trio, like that's going to be straight ahead. So I'm not focused here. I'm here to like help you guys. So you're bringing me into something that you're investing in. We're friends. It's a job of mine. So it's pretty easy for me to listen and do my job and say, okay, so what kind of vibe do you need here? And then your music is so accessible and so likable that when you listen and you're trying to make a horn line for a chorus, it's pretty easy to decipher because the chords are usually pretty major. They're happy, things are moving along, and the songs aren't like terribly long. So it's really just like the song forms are easy, the structures are fun, and you got other good people like Ben Golder is like the sax guy. Oh, we played gigs together before.
Crazy,
He's the best. He's got that school teacher experience, so like he can just how many charts do you need? Like, oh, Allie, go to the A section. He can actually. You guys have hired the right people because you have everybody that is functioning as a job. Like Ben's very organized, and he can just throw a chart to me in under 10 minutes. Right? That might take me a little bit of a longer time. So you guys kind of, I mean, from my perspective, you're pretty smart in how you orchestrated everything. So does that answer was that an
Yeah.
answer?
Oh yeah, no,
Yeah.
totally.
Absolutely. It was really cool to see you guys work together. Now, had you worked with Ben in the past, playing before?
I think I met Ben when I met you guys too. That was like 24 or something. It was a long time ago.
Yeah.
And we played at the Owl Shop in New Haven. And that's when I remember, like, he was trying to move to New York City. You guys were talking about New York. And Ben was just, like, itchy to go. He had itchy legs. He's like, I'm tired of this. I want to go. I'm not supposed to be teaching right now. And he was, like, following exactly what he was doing. And it was just the smokiest club. It was almost as bad as working in, like, the casino of a cruise ship bad. You're playing, like, some
Could
gigolo
you still
songs.
smoke cigarettes in clubs then?
I'm sorry?
You could still smoke cigarettes in clubs then when you met him?
The Owl Shop. I think the Owl Shop's a tobacco bar.
Oh, that's
So I
that
think that's
place.
the.
Oh, I heard about
I
that
didn't really
place.
think about that. It's been a while, but
Right.
yeah, that was.
I heard that place. Got it.
Wow.
Because when we first started playing music, you could smoke cigarettes. So I didn't know if when you were playing music, was there ever a time where people were smoking?
No.
Or no?
Ohio. We smoked cigarettes in the bars in Ohio. Babe,
Okay.
like 2004. I didn't say not me.
Mhm.
I'm a trombone player. Okay, go on.
Actually, I hear smoking leads to heartburn. Speaking of heartburn.
Oh my gosh. Yes. Yeah, did you just see me have agita just now? I just had like a hiccup. Heartburn. I was like, you don't say. But this is good. Do you see my corn muffins? You can see there's like corn in them. I was pretty psyched about that.
How'd you make them?
Chunky.
They're so hearty, man. There's like a teaspoon and a half of black pepper in them, and like cornmeal that Bob's Red Mill. You go to like Job Lot and you can just like do all these like sections, paint by number, get your grains, and yeah. So you just like throw all of that stuff together and like very savory, little sweet, and then oven at like 400 degrees. See, like I'm into baking now. You know the way that I'm like,
Get the skills, man.
you put baking soda in it.
Man.
Anyway, gross.
So here we are. You're in Connecticut.
Yes, we are here.
And
together, definitely.
In Germany before before everything hit.
Ever since I knew Allie, she definitely was talking about, I'm going to move to Europe and play some jazz music. You know, like that was a thing, you know?
Yeah.
And so here it was, finally, what, March or February?
Yeah.
When
It was February. The end of February, I went to Amsterdam and then hung out there for a while and played some music there. And then took all my stuff, everything I planned on living with. And I took the train to Germany and I went through Hamburg and went all the way to Berlin and got into my apartment, checked in. I had a relocation program. So I had a little bit of help because Germany is all about the paperwork. All about the paperwork. My God. So you have to go into different offices and God help you if you don't have a translated letter. So it was I was there and I was going to live permanently. It was all set with America. I've exercised all the places I wanted to go so far, really, except for New Orleans. I would always love to go there more. But yeah, so I was there, and then my sister works in the Hartford emergency room, and she's a PA. She doesn't work there anymore, but she called me on the phone, and I was already in the apartment. Stuff's already packed away, and she's like, "Hey, this is going to be a little bit worse than you imagine or anticipate." From my perspective, she says, you're probably going to want to come home. And I didn't really take that time to get pissed or upset or, throw a tizzy. I was worried about my sister. I don't want people I love to be in danger. And I was worried about my dad and my mom and, your other family members that are vulnerable, like the kids. So it didn't really matter to me. I was just okay, I got my stuff back in my bags. And it was going back home from Germany was really strange. I guess, should I just continue with the story?
Yeah, please tell the story.
It was Germany locked down the day after. So I booked a flight. I had only one bag allowed with me on the flight. So the whole 2 bags I had of like all my greatest stuff, I had to like toss at least one of them, and I knew that ahead of time. I looked it up online. So like I'm in like my little Berlin apartment, just like taking like, oh, that's old, like grow up, no, you're never gonna wear that, and then just like they have a really sophisticated recycling system. And I just had like a ton of stuff, and I was just trying to find a dumpster. Basically, I was like, ah, and, like toss my. Anyway, so
Wait, so you had to throw it out because like
couldn't bring it.
COVID was happening, and they're like, you only get one bag. That's
Yeah,
it.
you only get one bag. Like we're gonna have like 3 people, like 3 seats per person. You know.
Oh,
Like
because it has.
1, 3, 1, 3.
Got it. Okay.
So they're trying to just be very minimalistic, I guess. But I was just like, okay. And so I had my last bag with me. I'm like hauling my way into the airport. It's like empty. Nobody's around. You know, Berlin is empty. Everybody follows the rules. They say stay in, you're in. There's a 600 euro fine if you break that. And or secret police, you know, depending on like how you want this conversation to go. But you know, dire straits, man. And I'm dragging my stuff in, and this like weird American homeless kid's like, give me some money. And I don't even like, I'm sweating. I'm like, I can't even. I'm like, no. And plus, like, nobody's supposed to be shaking hands right now, man. And he gets upset with me for not giving him any money. And then he tries to like spit on me in the airport. So it's like my first introduction into leaving the country was just like, wow. Oh, you really gotta, don't try to instigate anything. Like, be peaceful, do the best you can, look out for yourself. But like, I just didn't anticipate everything, you know.
Right,
Okay.
right. Wow.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Hell yeah.
Man.
But you know, there's always time to go back. It's just doesn't look like we're very welcome anywhere.
Oh man, not right now. That's for
Not
sure.
going good.
So now that you're like chilling in Connecticut for a while, like what have you been up to? Like what's all right, you're always like very joyful and like a positive force anytime I see you. Like
Aww.
what's keeping you like sane in these times that we're having right now?
Oh, okay. But I didn't hear the question quite. You said
What's keeping you sane
keeping me
in
sane?
these times right now where a lot of people aren't staying sane?
That's like such a great question. Okay. So I thought of like the Heartburn special because of this, right? Like we're all having a hard time with schedules and not having our regular habits and everything in place with work. And like Michelle Obama recently went and said that she's suffering from like a mild form of depression, but not quite the kind that you think. It's just like she's having a hard time getting to the gym, she says, right? And she's like, well, listen, I'm gaining a little weight, but like I don't really feel that bad about it, honest. Like this is a weird time, so whatever, right? And then like I turn the page and then you know, something is saying like, oh, Kelly Osbourne says she's a size 2. Like nobody wants to hear that right now. A super success story. You know? Like I love everybody. God with you all. And like do your best. Be your best. But like also I was like, well, why not just like let's burn this mother down. Like I would like to eat some cheese, I would like some chocolate, and I would like to tell you that you should have some too. But other than like baking copious amounts, I have been running quite a bit, trying to be a runner. I'm not like a natural long distance person, but like it's like good to go outside every day and to like shut up and like look around and not talk. Which is like I worry about talking too much sometimes, you know.
Yep. But that, when you're looking around outside, it's like a meditation.
They're like bears. Like I ran into like some kind of possum today when I was running. It was like I sent you a picture. It was so ugly.
Yeah, and you're like, what is this thing?
You always have some crazy story of like running. You're like, oh my god, I ran into this whatever, and there's like always something going on. You know what I mean? I'm always like, oh my god.
You were there, man. You were there when a bear like came upon me. It was like, you know, we were rehearsing outside. Remember? You're like, Allie, get in the car.
Oh yeah, walk right behind.
Tell the story.
It only happens to Allie. She just has the craziest things happen to her wherever she goes, and I'm a witness because I'm like, that crazy. I mean, crazy things happen to me. Not like when I'm with her. There's always some crazy story. Like, Always some crazy.
I have one that comes to mind.
I do too, but I don't know if we're gonna. I don't know if we should tell the
No,
big
man.
ball story tonight.
Tell them all. I want people to know where I've been. Please.
These two go off, and they always come back with some sort of antics. That's all I gotta say. These two go off. And they always
Tell
come
this.
back.
Wait. Should you tell the story about the
Yeah.
no? Okay, no.
That's like the R-rated version.
Yeah, we'll just leave it at everybody.
Anybody that was curious, you'll have to ask us when you see us live.
Yeah.
The pig, you know what?
Come out to a show. We're only playing outside these days, and Allie's playing with us a bunch of games.
Oh,
So I have to say,
I'll tell you all about it.
Pitt even said it the other night. Man, it's so awesome having you play with us, Bones. Like being at practice, coming out
Same.
live. You add so much
Same.
music to the music. You know what I mean? And we're just so. It's just a pleasure. You know, I feel really lucky that you're here
Me too.
for the duration of right now, and you know you're buzzing through. But you're here right now with us, and we feel fortunate. You know what you bring. You know, with a lot.
You guys
We're
are
lucky
the
to have
saving
you
grace.
as long as you're here.
Saving grace for me
Steve
too.
says love running crazy animals. This is pretty cool, right? Trombone does make everybody happy, that's for sure.
Are people talking?
So here we are. Time to dream up whatever you could dream. If you could create like the perfect dream project musically, right? What would it sound like, and what would the instrumentation be, and what kind of music would you be writing the music? Like, I know you probably dream this up. What does that sound like? What does it look like?
Well, Lordy Lou, that's a great question. If I were gonna put out a request in the universe, I would say this. Brooke Sofferman on drums would be lovely. John Piplotto is actually tight with Brooke. They're like best friends. So John Piplotto is our bass player in HannaH's Field. And I met Brooke because I was doing a recording. I wrote some music, and I was having a hard time with the drums. I had the guy who was mastering it with me. He's like, I know a good drummer who can fix this problem for you, because it sounded really empty. I needed like some kind of sound effects or something. It was like whale sounds. Like he was doing really cool percussive stuff. He calls the Brooke, and he comes in, just executes the whole thing, flushes it out. Like I'll have to show you the recording. It's a tune I wrote for like a friend that passed away, and it was just like it meant a lot. But like, what a pro! Like, thumbs up to that guy. And then, man, if I was to say anything else, I'd love to have a good tenor player with me. So, you know, Ben, the sax guy, he's into that, or baritone sax. I love that. So, yeah, jazz septet, baritone sax, tenor sax, you know, that would be ideal.
Beautiful.
Oh, yeah.
Flush out the other instruments.
I'll be looking forward to that lineup.
Yeah, I don't see that lineup.
Hell yeah.
I got nervous the more I talked about it. I was like, I got too excited. I was like, and then.
That's good though. Like, would it be? So it'd be jazz? Would it be straight up jazz? Would it be funky?
I'm
like
into
what?
Like straight up jazz, man. Because like I don't know if you guys are finding this to be true, but like we all have like the soundtrack to our lives, and like whatever we're listening to right now is changing. I really love like stumbling upon new music. I've been like coming upon like a lot of great like American folk singers, but like a lot of straight ahead jazz that like is old and new, and it's just like, you know, stuff that turns you on, stuff that like makes you feel excited. Whatever, if you're a musician and you're daydreaming about like what you're playing or would like to play on stage, like that's kind of like that kind of Hartford like straight ahead. Like I really listen to like Steve Davis a lot lately. He's like one of my favorite trombone players right now, and so it's like cool to be a fan of other musicians right now for sure.
Yeah, awesome, totally awesome.
I think my dream band would be like some sort of Mahavishnu.
Oh.
You know, like current, you know, like nowadays, like Mahavishnu, like insane. Like how, I don't know, every time I hear them, or even like John McLaughlin, like some of his earlier solo stuff, it like blows my mind. It's like, you know, the music, you know, like yes and stuff like that. So you're like, what the, and that'd be cool to like leave people with that kind of like question, about music sometimes. Like I always like honestly like when I play with HannaH's Field, I'm like doing my best to be a part of the musical experience and not overplay. I'm a drummer though, I don't overplay. And you get into a lineup where like the music is wild, everybody's wild, it's crazy, things are blowing up in the background. That excites, that's exciting, so but it's funny, each individual person has their certain like soundtrack or their certain, resonant vibration. When you bring a group of people with different resonant vibrations and create a group, a band, the sonic vibration now is of all these different elements. It's not just the music that you wrote and then we all sit in and play. No, because I bring something to it, Pip brings something to it, Lion brings something to it, Bones brings something to it, and Sky, when he's with us, he brings something to it. It's different with who's there, but everybody's thing makes that whole new thing, which is pretty exciting about music,
Yeah.
Well, you really have the heart center of it as like the drummer. Like you really hold that, like the core. You're the trunk of the tree, essentially.
Thanks.
And it really shows. Especially as you guys have more recordings. These roles are more pronounced, which is great. It's just like growth. It's fun growth to see.
Yeah. Drums are like the engine of the band, you know what I mean? Like chugga, 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 chugga. But also too is like sometimes like you're in first gear and sometimes you're in fifth gear. So you have to recognize what song you're playing and you have to, gear down and get into first gear. Sometimes it's like, or even just idling out of traffic, like you can't always be like fifth gear, like slamming your head off, But yeah, I feel like it's the engine of the band.
Yeah. I like the journey together. That's like we feel the gigs together, like the ebb and flow of like, okay, well, we haven't been playing like every weekend for gigs, but we've been like getting to know the material differently through what we have been doing and through a rehearsal. So it's been good.
Yeah.
That's cool. That's the nice thing about this time is it really is a time to focus in on your practice, get your set tight, get your chops tight. When you're gigging every weekend, a lot of times it's like life's like, and like, I work a day job. I know you oftentimes work day jobs. Hannah does her teaching and booking and everything else. So we all have a full day.
Right.
And then you come at night as practice and you go, multiple nights a week to shows and stuff. Life is just like, and sometimes it's like, for me personally, it's hard to find time to sit down at the kit and like work out stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because you get a moment to sit and you're like, oh, thank God. Or like you play so much, you're like, I need to not play. Well, like now you're like, I need to play. I want to practice. I want to jam. I want to do that. It's kind of cool, like where it brings that spark back of like when it was when you were 15 years old or 12 years old learning our instruments and stuff because you wanted to play that much. You were excited to play that much.
That fire.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, some people just tuning in. They're saying, "What are you talking about?" Says another Allie.
Oh, what's up?
Yeah, so we're here with Allie Bosso. If you're just tuning in, she is an amazing trombonist and is also plays on 3 tracks on HannaH's Field new music, which is Crystal Vision, which is not out yet, but just today we started the second round of orders. So one thing, if y'all are Indiegogo people and you pre-ordered the first round, we love you, and you will be getting it first, very first in line. But if you are like, hey, I missed that Indiegogo thing, was that over? And you want to pre-order, you can do so through Bandcamp, and I'm gonna post. I'm gonna post it right here. Bandcamp. Here it is. Nope.
And
round 2.
The CD is not coming out publicly
until
October. So
if you want to hear it in
September, now,
September,
right? You can pre-order it. The people that did the Indiegogo, if they pre-order, they're getting it real soon. Digitally. Yeah. The people that now do the next pre-order on Bandcamp, they're going to be able to get it in like September, I think. So, you get an opportunity to help support, help keep it going, but now you get a chance to get it first. We're gonna be dropping some singles coming up. Um, so a lot of exciting things going on about this thing.
Yeah, and it just came out. The pre-order. You can also pre-order the Crystal Grid on Bandcamp too. And this is what it looks like in real life. Hand custom. And there will be 14 gemstones that go with it,
The wood burning.
and all sorts of meditation. So if you want to order that, do so through Bandcamp, hannahsfield.bandcamp.com. That's the story, kids. How's that muffin over there doing? Pretty good, huh? It's pretty good. So yeah, so the other Allie was like, "What are you guys talking about?" So we're talking to Allie Bosso. She's on the vibe. She's on Crystal Vision. She's also played with the 10,000 Maniacs, which is a really big deal and amazing. What's it like playing with the 10,000 Maniacs? Like, what's that group like? How do you?
Oh, the best. The best.
It's the best.
They're
It's
great
the best.
people. I got
What kind of shows? Like, do you have a favorite venue that you played with them so far?
Infinity, man. I love Infinity in Norfolk, Connecticut. Norfolk, however you want to say it. It is such a beautiful venue. And then they opened that one in Hartford. But, it's like 10,000 Maniacs go on tour a lot in the summer. And I was talking about like the soundtrack of our lives and everything before, right? And so like how you have like these different ages, or like, remember that time you heard your first cassette tape, or how old you want to be. But I remember like some of the first music that I ever owned was 10,000 Maniacs. And I remember my dad loved that song and like singing along to that. And it just like, when you're a certain age, for me, it was like 9 or 10, where it like just like really hit me hard. Like it was like Al Green, Billie Holiday, and that.
Yeah.
Wow, cool.
Yeah, and I was just like stuff like that. It was like 10,000 Maniacs, stuff like on MTV. You guys remember like stuff that on the music videos, and you were just like getting really like turned out and turned on. You're like, yes, this is what I want to do. So, anyways, I'm sorry, I just got like nervous for a second. I was like, wait a second, music. So
I remember when
I listened to
10,000
that.
Maniacs were on TV a lot. It was probably like about it was about high school age or whatever, and they did like the acoustic they did that
Yo,
show, unplugged.
that was
And they
huge,
did
right?
an unplugged set, and I was like, like in the heavy music, like Headbangers Ball, like heavy stuff. And I remember seeing that, and I was like, man, these guys are just really good, and like I really liked the vibe. I liked what she was doing. They're just a great band, they really are like a really great band. So to be able to touch me through my hard metal exterior at that time, it says a lot about music. It can really like just break through people. It's not a matter of, I like this style or that style, and I'm only this or I'm only that. Music can break through in so many different ways, which is super cool, super super cool.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. It was like it's a cool opportunity. I got the gig through the saxophone player, David Davis, and he's a Hartford guy. And
Oh yeah, we know David.
Yeah,
you know David? He's
Yeah,
a good
he's
guy,
great.
man. They called me,
Yeah.
and like it's like when you're young, you're trying to learn how to like build relationships. It's just like you just do your best and hope they call you back, right? You're like, please have me. And when you're young, you make like all kinds of like stupid mistakes, whatever, and you just like keep on hoping you can like just grow, right? And so like I'm really proud to have played with them, but I'm really grateful, like super grateful for just having beautiful people like that like welcome you again and again. They have like other people that like tour with Fish that are on their gigs, like phenomenal musicians. I mean, really. So and I just I have this thing to say, right? People really want to hear stories all the time about like, oh, tell me about what happened, the secrets, and or on the road, and who did what, and VH1 behind the scenes, and oh no. And like the older I get, and the more I learn about music, it's like you are where you are. You're with these wonderful people. Embrace, learn who you're with, learn who you're around. Like spot the talent around you. Notice that drummer's just like killing it, and just tell Steve he's laying it down on the bass, and things are going well. So yeah, I'm totally grateful for that.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's really awesome. Yeah, surrounded by good people and good musicians and good You always say that they're good people, which is important. Yay, Dad!
Damn, thanks, Dad.
That's what we
I think
need.
it's a censor. Like it's either that or a bear. So I'm just
No,
gonna
it's
reposition
perfect.
them.
That's way better.
Got
great.
it.
We got the light. No, you're better where you were before.
Okay. Paul sent me a message. He's like, "We can't see your face," and I'm like,
Paul, so great. This is so much better. Thanks, Paul.
Good job, Paul.
Paul says, still looking forward to this weekend. Us too,
Yeah.
Paul.
So this weekend we are carefully, cautiously going to play Yasgur's Farm.
Right.
Limited amount of people are being able to go.
Yeah.
They're going to be
FM broadcast,
encouraging people to stay at their campsites. They're going to FM broadcast the sets live from the stage to people's campsites. So we're going to try it out. You know, we've really not played out.
That's not true.
No,
Totally
well,
played out.
as far as like gone anywhere, you know what I mean? Or done,
Right,
like,
we haven't played out of
festivals or
state yet.
You know,
since COVID. Yeah.
been little restaurants, little things outside, small venue. Sure, this is kind of a big endeavor. We're gonna test it out. But we're very much looking forward to that. Getting together. Allie's gonna be there. Sky Allen's gonna be there. The whole HannaH's Field,
The
4
family.
going to be there. Paul Leon's going to be there, our Superman, who does everything for us. It's going to be a great weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're excited for that.
And it's always a beautiful event, and to be welcomed home to Yasgur's Farm by Gerald and Jack, and so
I'm excited.
So yeah, are you excited?
I'm super excited. You know what? Like I've already packed snacks. I bought a new sleeping bag because I'm too old not to have a nice one.
That's right.
Right.
Now that like we don't like know where the future is going, I just figured I might as well have like a sleeping bag just in case.
Hell yeah, keep it in the trunk of your car.
A tent, a sleeping bag. If you need to go out into the woods, you just can disappear,
Well, if you're a teacher, by the way, y'all, LLB, 10% off.
Hell yeah.
That's awesome.
You don't know.
So awesome. Oh my God. Oh, we will miss you. Oh, Sandra, we will miss you so much. Oh. Yeah, I was thinking that you might not be able to come. We're sad. We'll miss you too. Beautiful, beautiful friend. And she makes amazing jewelry and has all the magical sage, and she's got lots of magic, but we won't see her this year. We will miss you too, Mama. We miss you majorly. Well, we will be holding spirit, and you'll be holding spirit at home. So it's important that everybody stays safe, and that everybody use their intuition on what feels good, and each decision we make at this time, tapping into what feels right, for sure. So you played the White House? Like, how did I not know you played the White House, and when did that happen?
Oh, sorry, I'm trying to find like a good place to sit here. I'm having a hard time.
We can see you so much better now. Yeah, you're perfect.
Okay. I was 16. I was in high school, and it was like a band. Like I just got a phone call from a guy being like, "We need a trombone player," and I'm like, "I'm your girl. Let's go. We want to do jazz, yes."
Oh, that's so cool.
And it was for essentially Ellington. That was like the group was like doing a competition of Duke Ellington's music, and it was just like really concentrated effort in like big band music. And phenomenal education as far as what a big band is in jazz and every era coming up. I'm probably using like the wrong words here, but the thing is, it was a good opportunity to be with a concentration of other like serious musicians in their teens. And like I got fitted for a tuxedo, and being like 16 and being like, I just like, I was like happy to have like some boobs, and then to be fitted for like a tuxedo on top of that. I was like, let's play some jazz. And so, all right, it gets more serious though. 9/11, there was like the firefighters, they were being hosted to like go and check out the White House for Christmas time, and it was like decorated with like I don't know, gold everywhere. It was so beautiful to see the inside of the White House at Christmas time. And I do have a small story. I did break a rule. I broke a couple of rules. I was
Not
there, and you know
surprised.
the George Washington portrait? I like touched it. I just wanted to touch something. Just to, I guess it was just like a not cool thing to do that. But like wherever I go, if it's someplace serious, I'm like, I'm gonna touch a portrait. Like, I'm gonna just ruin something. I know that's not cool anymore. This is COVID, not COVID cool. This is a very long time ago. Okay, don't touch anyone,
Or anything.
friends. Don't
No
even touch
touching.
yourself.
Right.
No hugging, no touching.
Stay
There you
away
go.
from everything. No, but so anyways, yeah, I turned around and there was like 3 very handsome guards behind me. Everybody's got like very good genetics there. It was a good time, especially for a young girl. It was like somebody on a horse, like what's going on? Oh, you're touching a painting again.
That's
Like
the girl
you're in
that was
trouble.
touching the painting.
What'd you say?
I said, that's the girl that was touching the painting.
Get it?
Come on, guys, move in.
Not the first time. Jeez. But anyway, so yeah, it was like we were playing like Ellington music, and these folks were walking through, and just kind of like being hosted there by Bush, and it was that was my experience at the White House. It was smaller in person.
Real cool. Real cool.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
Recommend it.
Beautiful. Yeah, absolutely. So before we go, let's just talk a little bit about Heartburn. What? First of all, thank you for joining us. I'm taken so much.
Thank
A
you,
pleasure
everybody.
to have as a dinner guest. And what foods did you learn to do heartburn? Did you learn anything about heartburn by studying for this stuff?
Yeah, totally. Well, it's like it'll list all the favorites, right? Chocolate, alcohol, peppermint, grease, butter, like anything you like ever.
Yep.
Chia pudding. Just kidding. Nobody cares about chia pudding.
Everything.
Everything. Everything.
Everything you like. What about how are you gonna heal the burn that I brought, Hannah?
How are we going to heal the burn, friends?
How are we going to heal the burn? Yes. How are we going to heal the burn?
How'd you
So
do
we
it?
have kombucha here to help you out with that grilled cheese that you ended up dropping. Now, when they ended up dropping on that grilled cheese on the ground so that you didn't have to have heartburn tonight. I just figured it out.
You know
Great.
I'm gonna eat it.
Good plan. So we got kombucha here to help with some digestion. This is homemade Hannah's field bungled with kombucha. Another thing that heals heartburn, supposedly, if you haven't heard this one, is apple cider vinegar. If you're somebody with heartburn and you're not sure what it is, because sometimes it can be heartburn, sometimes it can be acid reflux, and they're not the same thing. So a good way to test is to take 2 tablespoons and some water of this after you eat. If you feel better, what does it mean?
Does
I
that
think
work?
it means, yeah, this is really
So
true.
real?
If you take it after a meal and you feel better, that means the acid in your stomach is low. You don't have enough acid in your stomach. If you do the same thing with 2 teaspoons of baking soda, you take it after a meal.
Put your water.
Yep. If you have indigestion or you feel your belly feels weird, that means you have.
Too much acid.
Oh wait, and did I do that
Can
backwards?
someone try that right now and like type into you? They're like, it
You can
burns.
definitely look that you can Google this, people, because I am still not a doctor. But those are some things you could do. And ginger is my favorite when my belly hurts. Raw ginger, ginger juice.
Tea all the time on the stove.
Yeah, we're always brewing ginger tea with cinnamon on the stove, and yeah. So those are our ways to heal your hurt belly.
Here. Okay.
So we are going to say love you. Thank you so much, Allie, for being part of Dig In.
Thank you for having me.
See you this weekend, ladies.
Okay. Bye, guys.
Wow.
Yeah, good night.
Love, love.
Oh, man. So we had a blast talking with you guys here. Dig In, eating our dinner with you. Hopefully, if you're eating your dinner at the same time, sharing a meal with our good friend, Allie Bosso. But really, we want to we're kind of doing this to tell you guys we got a new album coming out.
We do.
Crystal Vision.
It is.
14 amazing songs, and it really like takes you on a roller coaster all over the place. Each song, I've been having the disc in the car, for a while now because we've been listening to different mixes and stuff. And sometimes you're thinking in your head, God, I don't think I can listen to this again. You get in the car, I'm gonna put on something else. And I'm like, well, maybe after this song's done. And then you're like, what? Well, maybe after this song's done. And I've heard the disc probably like 1,000 times by now. Just really good music, and I really hope. I know Hannah really hopes, and I know the band really hopes that you guys get the same feeling that we get when we listen to this album.
Our intention is for this music to be a hug for your heart.
Yeah.
So if you would like to pre-order and be the first to hear it before it's out into the world, check it out. We have a little link up here. Go to HannaH's.
Sandra Lee just pre-ordered it.
Oh, you just ordered it?
Thanks, Sandra.
Thank you. Oh, that's so sweet. That's so sweet. Yeah, so you could pre-order it. You could just pre-order the download. But if you go to the merch and you want to order the straight up HannaH's Field custom crystal grid,
comes with
14 gemstones.
The hard copy of the CD, digital download, multiple meditations that can be done on the grid. Instructions for all that. We're going to be doing some videos that are going to be on the website available for you to check out also, so you can be doing that with your grid. A couple different ways to use it, and then your own way, to use it and interpret with it. Our real goal and our real hope with this, not only is the music a potential healing element, the grid itself is also a meditation tool that can help, maybe bring you into some balance, help you find some peace during all the chaos. We just want to give you as much healing as we possibly can come up with. Share a little bit of our practice with you guys. Share a little bit of what we do. When we did the cookbook, we shared our food. We do the music. It's what the soundtrack in our heads. The crystal grid now is like part of our meditation practice that we do. So we're really hoping to just share more of ourselves with you in this way.
Yeah. So we thank you for being here. We thank you for all your support. You all are awesome. Thanks for tuning in to dig in. And thanks to our friend Allie Bosso, who you will hear on Crystal Vision.
Oh my God.
Amazing.
Hey, when is the first single dropping?
Oh, first single dropping August 28th. That's coming up really soon.
Yeah.
So if you didn't order it or you can't order it, you will be hearing singles
teasers.
drop.
Yeah.
So you will be hearing the music. All right. Much love, y'all. Be well. Peace, peace, peace.
Thanks for joining us on Digging In. Yeah, man.